What's good everyone, the Hunt for Adler challenge is here, and this is how to complete the 3 Warzone challenges. It's essentially 3 kind of almost scavenger kind of contracts. You'll see little Adler contracts pop up at Factory, Summit and Farmland. Load into a game of Plunder, literally just drop in, and this will be a race to the contracts. With the exception of Farmland, there's usually 2 to 4 contracts in each location, and it is literally just a straight up race. Now Factory is by far the easiest. All you really have to do is make sure you get there first, because of course in Plunder, if you pick up that contract and then die straight away, it does not matter. You have 5 minutes to get to the first box, and then 5 minutes to the second, 5 minutes to the third, and it'll send you pretty much within the general area, a little bit further apart than a scav. So if you can grab a car, that's great, but for this one particularly, you can get there on foot. The other 2 are a little bit different, but you do literally just have to full send it. Now this was pretty uncontested, and I should note that as of recording this, the Hunt for Adler challenges have either disappeared for a lot of people or stopped tracking. So if you do one of these, you don't get anything in return, don't be surprised. They have stopped tracking, you'll just have to redo it again, or hopefully the tracking system will pick back up and you will get what you deserve. That sounds really menacing, I didn't mean it like that. So this one actually sends me over towards police and then kind of towards car dealership, or where car dealership used to be. I don't know if it's still there. I don't know if it is still a car dealership, is probably the better thing. And then back to police, and this was a theme that I saw. I've done 3 contracts in Factory now, and they all tend to go kind of from point A to point B back to point A in their boxes, so do just bear that in mind. If there is a lot of action going around and you are trying to avoid it, they will probably send you back in the general direction from which you came, so do just bear that in mind. So you can see it's a fairly easy contract to complete. There's really nothing much to it. The only issue you have is if there is extreme fighting going on within it in Plunder, and even then you should pretty much be able to sneak in and just kind of get past everyone. I don't really see a reason why you wouldn't be able to. So that's box 2 right there. Box 3 is all the way back over to police, and there is somebody in this building. When I return, I actually see him go in. I just play it quite slow. I'm not really looking to fight him. The only issue with these contracts and with these challenges is you can only do 1 a match, just because the others get snapped up so quickly regardless of what you do. Doesn't matter if you have a heli and you're trying to get across to them, they will get snapped up within the first 30 seconds. So that is something to bear in mind. You will have to do this multiple times, particularly with Farmland, because I have noticed so far that it doesn't spawn in every time. I don't know if that's a bug or if the game is supposed to be like that. Summit and Factory will spawn in contracts every single game, but Farmland is a bit more picky about when it does spawn up, and Farmland is a particularly active area at the moment, so do just bear that in mind when you are trying to snag these contracts. So you see here, I do have to creep up the stairs into this extra room that has appeared with Verdansk 84, complete the contract, there you go. Now obviously this is Farmland that's up next. Farmland, the plane route was a bit, or helicopter route it is now, was a bit of a stretch, so I go to snag this hospital helicopter. A bit risky, you know, it's always going to be quite a popular drop, but if you don't full send it, you won't get there in time. Someone else will just drive over, so I decided to full send it. Helicopters are the best thing you can get for Farmland and Summit contracts. I'd highly recommend you try and snag yourself a heli. It can be done in cars, it can be done on foot at a real push, but the chances are by the time you get over there on foot, it will not be viable. Somebody would have already snagged it and picked it up, and then it really is just a case of flying the heli over, picking up the scav, and it leads you on a similar sort of chase. You do have to be a bit more careful in Farmland. There are quite a few teams kind of checking out the area, checking out the new buildings, so there are a few more dangers, surprisingly enough, considering how quiet Farmland usually is in any aspect of Warzone, whether it be Plunder or Battle Royale. You do just have to bear that in mind. So of course, with these challenges, you do only have to complete either Warzone or Cold War challenges. There's 3 of each. I'll have a Cold War video up shortly after this one on how to do them, because they are also not tracking as of time of recording. I have completed them. I had 1 track and then they stopped, but you only have to complete either Warzone or Cold War to unlock the Adler skin, where he's looking a little bit beaten up, a little bit worse for wear. So do just bear that in mind. You also can't pick and choose, I believe. I think it has to be 3 from 1. I could be wrong on that. Like I said, as of recording these challenges are not tracking, and for some people they've just completely disappeared. I believe that Treyarch and Activision are looking into it, they are aware of it, and I'm pretty sure that this is what's causing a hell of a lot of the server issues as well, is with the hunt for Adler is messing up quite a few things, so do just be patient with it. Hopefully by the time these videos actually get up, get live and get round to you, everything will be flowing quite smoothly. But the key to these Warzone challenges is just to full send it towards that contract. If you go splat on the ground, it does not matter, because if you hadn't got that contract, it wasn't like your game was over essentially. And of course, if the playing path is too far away, to make sure that you are grabbing a heli as soon as possible, because otherwise you don't stand a chance at getting it, trust me on that one. And finally is Summit, and man was it great to see Summit up close and personal. So here I see again that Summit's a bit far away for me to go get, so I'll snag this TV helicopter. I think there was only one guy that came after it with me, which is, you know, fairly quiet. A lot of people are off exploring other parts of the map, so this was a nice little heli to grab. Highly recommend TV station heli if you can get to it. Now Summit is obviously all the way up where Dam used to be, so it is very, very far away, and you'll see when we get up there, it's prime kind of terrain, I guess you could say, for a helicopter, in that there is a lot of ground vertically. It's very, very difficult to traverse kind of on foot without any mode of transport, that's for sure. A helicopter is the easiest way by far to do this one. So if you can snag yourself one, or if you drop in with a friend, one of you go for the contract, one of you go for the heli, you know, the heli can come scoop you up and you can get that contract done. Do make sure to try and employ these tactics to make it just a little bit easier, because if you can grab a heli when the contract is kind of out of the plane's path, you're going to be fairly uncontested, you know, in the first minute, after which people will start to respawn and plunder, and you'll probably see a bit more competition as people respawn around the map. But you should be fairly uncontested to get, you know, at least pick up the contracts in the first box for somewhere with a plane path that is so far away like it was in this clip. It was a fairly leisurely stroll around Summit, just had a nice little look around, and it looks nice, but you can see what I mean about the verticality. Like, those rocks are just sheer face rocks, and if I didn't have the heli I would have been in a bit of a pickle, because even the second box puts me all the way on the other side. I'd have to be using the cable cars to get across, and whilst that wouldn't be, you know, the world's worst thing, it is just a bit inconvenient when you are trying to get these challenges done nice and quickly. And this is the challenge that didn't track for me, I believe. I had 2 Warzone challenges and a Cold War challenge track, and things were unlocked, and then the hunt for Adler disappeared on my screen and all the challenges have appeared locked again. So these do work, they're just having some major issues with it, so do stay tuned and make sure that they fix it. I'm sure they will by at least within the next, say, 5-6 hours, you'd hope. With that being said, if you did enjoy the video, give it a like, subscribe if you want to find your way back. Hope you all have a good day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.